Welcome, welcome, welcome. Hello, hello, hello. Thank you so much for joining today's podcast. It's needed. Boy, isn't that the truth? We look around, turn on our TV, go to the grocery store, just get in our car and drive somewhere. Man, they need something. Again, welcome to today's podcast. I'm your host. Now, I've been called a lot of things: a son of God, a son, a father, an entrepreneur, husband, preacher, teacher. I'm just your guy, Clayton Allen. And I appreciate you tuning in today. So, first of all, do want to acknowledge that, hey, we got to connect some kind of way. That's the only way that this podcast can be effective. So I thought about that, and I thought about what we would be talking about, because I just want to make sure that whatever's said, whatever, is something that's needed. We done had all of the fluff. Now it's time to get to some things that's needed. And to make that connection, I thought, what better thing to talk about but who am I? And God said, let us make man in our image, after our likeness. So God created man in his own image. In the image of God created he him, and male and female created he them. But Darwin's theory proposes that species change over time through natural selection, where organisms with heritable traits better suited for their environment are more likely to survive and reproduce. Now, this theory suggests all life shares a common ancestor. This theory challenges the prevailing religious and scientific beliefs by suggesting a natural rather than divine mechanism for the diversity of life, including human evolution. Who am I? That's the question. Because before we can challenge anything, we got to first know who we are. Because sometimes we are part of the problem. We're a problem inside of a problem. To know better, we can do better. And in order to do better, we got to first do better with our own selves. So, in this episode of this podcast, out of everything that will be said, that's been said, at the end of it, if you ask yourself, who are you? Mission accomplished. Because there's a saying that says that wherever you move to or wherever you go, there is you. You're there. So, if we leave a problem because we are the problem to go to somewhere else, the problem comes with us, because the problem is not the problem. We're the problem sometimes, because we don't know who we are. Imagine this. Imagine being over there in Minneapolis, and smack dab in the middle of the two lines. You got two sides, you got two beliefs. One says that they hate ICE. The other side says they're getting the immigrants. You're in the middle. Where do you stand? Because the choice that you make right then, it'll go further than that picket line. That'll go further than that protest. You find yourself in a grocery store and overhear something that relates to the opposing side, and it'll flicker your attention. Because that's who you are. what we think, you know. Now, we have this thing in us called DNA that, we can identify where we come from by our DNA. But where does our DNA start? I got the DNA from my mom, but she got it from her mom. Where did it originate from? Who are we? Proverbs says that as a man thinketh, so is he, which states that a person's inner thoughts, his meditations, and true intentions defines our character and shapes our reality, implying that mindset determines our actions, our habits, and ultimately our life, whether positive or negative. Starts here, who we are, by knowing who we are. If it is decided on our thoughts or our mindset, then the question is answered first and foremost is, what are we of? Where do our DNA come from? Where do we originate from? So our thought controls that. So our thoughts defines who we are as we go through life. We strive to become a better person each and every day. And that strive could be from, I want to put on the best shirt so that people can like my shirt, and make sure that my hair is in place and is looking good. Or we can tend to some things that's not on the outer, that truly who makes who we are, we just dress it up to become a better person. Why should we be a better person? It's because that's what we were designed to be. No man lives on an island. And in order for two to conjoin together in harmony, there has to be an understanding, and the first understanding is who I am, so that you can know who I am and not who I think I am or who you think I am. We can help each other. But we first have to discover that. And I thought that this to be so important on our first go. Because before we talk about anything else, it has to become from who I am to reach who you are without the fluff.